Hi everyone, this is Erica Supa from Fresh Faced Skincare. Today's Friday. I'm at my Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania studio, and today I want to talk about the skincare product application order and how it's important to know when you use skincare products which order to apply them in to make them the most effective. So a lot of people know, of course, you wash your face first and then what comes next. And it doesn't mean you have to use necessarily all of these steps in order to get the most out of your skincare regimen. But if you do use all of these steps, this is the order in which you would apply them to your face and then the quantities in which you would apply them. So first off, you have to wash your face. So you're going to cleanse your skin first. And some people wash their face once a day, twice a day, or maybe more times a day, if depending on what they do for a living as far as their job might require them to do so. But most people do twice a day. And when you cleanse your face, particularly with a facial cleanser, you want to use a dime-sized amount of cleanser, no more. So a lot of people, a lot of my clients, they tend to overuse the products and they'll go through them a lot faster. So really, professional, good quality products, you only need a dime-sized cleanser. You mix that with a little bit of water and apply to the skin. And if you use a toner, this would be the next step in your regimen. You would put a toner directly following cleansing the skin, drying the skin, and again, you would want to put a small amount, in this case, a dime size. Now, some toners you can spray on your face. Some toners you can, drip it onto a cotton ball. So you would want to use somewhere in a dime-sized area. And a toner is going to stay on the skin. You're not going to wash it off. This sinks into the skin and has a little bit of an exfoliation property to it. It gets rid of any cleanser that's left over, any dirt and debris that the cleanser didn't get, and also helps resetting the pH of the skin, which is very important for the next thing that you would apply, and that would be serum. Any type of serum. And serums are very concentrated, highly active ingredients for the most part, so you would use even smaller amount than a dime size. You would use a pea-sized amount, the size of a pea, for serum, the whole face. So it's a thin layer right on top of the skin all over. And you only need a thin layer because whatever soaks, it's very lightweight serums, so it soaks into the skin and actually can penetrate the skin. Whatever's going on, that layer is going to go in. If you use more than a pea size, it's going to stay into the tissue and it's not going to be as effective. In a lot of cases, it'll look wet, and people say, oh, how long do I sit there? Do I fan it to dry? And it's because you either didn't, in circular motions, incorporate into the skin enough, or you use too much, which is most people tend to use too much. So a pea size is all you need of a serum. And you can do multiple serums. You don't have to do just one. A good question I had the other day was a client asked me if you can apply more than one serum at a time and mix them together. Now, that's going to depend on the serum consistency. In my opinion, I like to layer them more than what they call cocktailing, which is more than one serum together. And I do that because some of the serums that I use are different consistencies. So in some cases, there's some that are very lightweight and some are very gel-like, a little thicker in viscosity, and some of them are even cream-like. And I feel as though when you cocktail something like that together, it may or may not affect some penetration property of that particular serum. So I just like to put the thinnest to thickest serum on, and that's the order of application that I do. And again, you're just going to use a very small amount of each one of those. And then the next step to put on would be if you're using an eye cream or an eye serum. You would put that on following a serum for your whole face. And the eye product is going to be made specifically for the tissue underneath the eye, and that's a lot more sensitive than the surrounding face skin. And it's because there's no oil glands there, so we need to really moisturize that area And there are also specific concerns that people have for the under eye area that don't exist all over the face. For example, dark circles or puffiness. You're not going to have dark circles or puffiness all over your face. So this is why there's a necessity for eye treatments. So I like to put my eye cream on at this stage right after a serum and before a moisturizer. And you're only going to put the size of a rice grain or a grain of rice for each eye. And so you're going to put it on, what I like to do is the middle finger size of a rice grain for each eye, and then work from outer corner to inner corner in light taps for the eye area. And some eye products are okay to be used on the eyelid, and if so, they will indicate that on their label. So you can look for that. I wouldn't automatically put anything on the eyelid that's a little bit of a sensitive area. So most of the time you can go around and upwards above the eye for, firming and lifting. But all you need is a size of a rice grain for each eye. Tap from outer to inner with the ring finger. And the ring finger, because it's supposed to be the softest touch of all of the fingers, of all of our fingers. And then we would put a moisturizer after the eye cream. So the eye is specifically formulated for the eye, so that will go first around that eye area, and then the moisturizer could always go on top of that in addition over top of the eye cream. And for a moisturizer, you're going to use a little bit more. You're going to use a nickel-sized amount for moisturizer. Some people may need a little bit more depending on how dry they are, time of year, etc., because maybe the winter their skin's a little bit drier. Maybe you need to apply more often throughout the day, but as a good rule of thumb, the size of a nickel is all you need. And the last step in a skincare regimen, always before you apply your makeup, is sunscreen. And again, the size of a nickel should be sufficient for sunscreen, just for your face. And you may need to put a little bit more for the neck area to protect the neck, because a lot of people forget this area. But a nickel size, SPF 30 is what I recommend. It's a proper amount. It's more than a 15, but you don't necessarily need 50 or above. You're going to get a really adequate protection with an SPF 30, broad spectrum, UVA, UVB protection, and this is going to be even better than just having sunscreen in your moisturizer or sunscreen in your makeup alone. So a lot of people say to me, well, I have, I'm taken care of because I have sunscreen incorporated into the makeup, which is all well and great, but I always recommend an additional standalone sunscreen in addition to the makeup, because you don't know how much protection you're getting with the makeup. It may say SPF 30 in the makeup, but everybody's different handed when it comes to applying makeup. If it's in a powder form, how much are you putting on one layer, you're putting on 2 layers? You don't know. You sweat during the day, it absorbs into the skin, so it's always best to have a layer of SPF on before you put your makeup on. So that's the order of the skincare products. You're going to cleanse, you're going to tone, you're going to put your serum on, an eye product on if you have it, you're going to put your moisturizer on, and then your sunscreen. That's the 6 steps if you're using the 6 steps, and then you apply your makeup. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great weekend, guys.